This is Gina Moore with More Than Sports. I am here with class of 2023 wide receiver, Ricky Gonzales. Ricky, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. Now, you are clear in San Antonio, Texas.
Yes, ma'am.
So you are 2 hours ahead. So I hope, it's not too late there. So that's good. And you just got done with practice. So thank you again for joining me here.
For the opportunity.
Absolutely. My pleasure. So let's kind of start getting these questions here. The first one, we're going to talk about something that you've done competitively before football. And that's not something you hear every day. It's fencing.
Yes.
Talk to me about how you got started in fencing and how long you did that for.
Well, basically, I first got started. So, when I was younger, really young, 4, 5, 6, I was a really competitive kid. I did all kinds of sports. You name a sport, I probably did when I was younger. So I was doing, at the time I was doing soccer, and I played soccer from 3 to 7. And about when I was 5, my parents started realizing I was really competitive, but I hated to lose. I still hate to lose, but I hated losing back then. My mom would compare me to I think his name's John McEnroe, the tennis player. Yeah,
John McEnroe.
Yes, we'd be losing our little club games, and I would be so mad because all I wanted to do was just win that game. So basically, one of my mom's friends at the school I went to recommended fencing because it's a really high skill sport, right? So I would get in there and I would obviously have to lose. Basically, I would lose for the first year or 2 years I did it. So then it would teach me how to lose, so I wasn't, throwing fits anymore. But yeah, I did that. I started it when I was 6. I liked it. I ended up giving up soccer for it, and I did that from 7 to 6, 7 to 13, 14 when I finally ended it. But yeah, I ended up at one point I was 4th in the nation in my age group. So
wow. Yeah. So what was your record when you quit? Do you know what your record was? I'm sure you do because you're competitive.
Okay, so there's this page. I forgot what it's called, but me and my friends used to check it all the time. And it doesn't say my record, but it says my win percentage, and it was 73 or 74 or something like that.
All right, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So what age were you when you started football then?
So basically, when I started football, around, I obviously had to, basically in 7th grade, I had always liked football. I always used to watch it with my grandpa and my dad. I always used to watch NFL college games, no matter what. I just like football. So I really started getting into it around 5th, 6th grade, and I really wanted to play it. But when I was younger, my mom and dad wouldn't let me play it because they were concerned with concussions, stuff like football. And I was when I was 12, I managed to convince them to let me play because I had played one season back in kindergarten, but it was flag football, so I never really got to tackle. So I hadn't played since kindergarten, and I convinced them to let me play tackle. They let me play, but my mom was sold on me being a fencer. She loved me fencing. So basically, what she did was she called all the club teams, all the little youth club teams, and she found the most talented one and the most hard one to get on, and she put me in that one because she didn't want me to do football. When hoping she went to the coach. She met the head coach at a Whole Foods and was like, if you want to rough him up, if you want to scream at him, I'm fine with that. Because she wanted me to get rooted out so I didn't play football anymore. But it ended up backfiring on her because the team was really competitive and it was really there was a lot of talent on there. So it just made me more hungry to be the best person on that team, right? Because if I was the best person on that team, I could beat a bunch of different people because we were beating a bunch of teams. So that's how I got into football. I got it around 7th grade. I ended up playing with the Outlaws, the club team. They were on Friday Night Tykes. Played with them 7th and 8th grade. And then 8th grade spring year, I found a spring team coached by Ernest Cutler, and that's when I started playing receiver, which is what I play now. But
Okay.
yeah, did that, went to Brandeis, and now I'm just at Brandeis.
So you're at Brandeis High School. You are a sophomore.
Yes, ma'am.
So let's talk about that because you are in San Antonio.
Right.
I think it's a little bit different there than here. We haven't played our season yet. Supposed to in the spring. Not sure that that's going to happen because we're on a lockdown now. Again, so talk to me a little bit about what schooling is like there, and I believe you're playing games and all of that. So talk to me a little bit about what's different about San Antonio as far as here, with school and with playing.
Right. I would say so. I've only gone to like actual school once.
Okay.
Really, like, you have to bring your own laptop. You pretty much it's pretty much online school. Can't give out any paper. But for football, I mean, we had to start our season late because of COVID, obviously. When we're playing, we have gaiters around our necks, and like once we're done on the field, we have to get off. We have to put them back on. The chairs are social distance. We can't really sit close to each other. Like for practice, we got to practice with a mask on. Obviously, we do like weight room and pods, but once we're done with the weight room, we got to spray it with Lysol, clean it with Clorox and all that to make sure because we practice in pods. So we have like, offensive 1 and 2 pod, defensive 1 and 2 pod, 3 and 4 pod, etc. So we have to make sure, there's no because contact tracing, there can't be any contact tracing. But yeah, that's what I would say. It's been a weird season, especially with COVID, but yeah, we're fighting through.
How many games have you played?
We've played, I think this is going to be our 9th or 10th game.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I don't think our season got short. It didn't get shortened. It was looking like that. The last 3 games were to be announced at the start of the season. They started playing.
And how are you guys doing this year? What's your record? Because you're on varsity.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
We're doing pretty good. Right now, we've only lost 2 games. So basically, we're playing against the Reagan Rattlers this week, and if we win, then we're in the playoffs. So.
Oh, nice. Well, that's exciting.
Yes.
And so, how have you done this year? Like you personally, as the wide receiver, how has your season been so far?
I say it's gone pretty well. I just it's like, yeah, I say it's gone pretty well. I just I mean, obviously it's my first year on varsity, so touches are gonna come as they go. But I say my performance personally, I say I'm proud of myself.
Good. Well, and that's good to say. I mean, that's good to have that confidence. It's good to really rate yourself as a player and see what you can improve on, but really see what you're doing well also. I think that's great. And you are still young. You're a sophomore on varsity, so you're just going to be that much better. Right. The next 2 years, that you get to be on varsity, which is great. So talk to me a little bit about 7-on-7. You have played 7-on-7 in the past. How do you think that helps your game when you play high school ball?
I think 7-on-7 helps a lot because, high school ball is more of like city oriented. But when you play 7-on-7, you can literally pick the best players from each high school and put them on a team and then go compete against other teams. So I would say the thing I like the most, the thing I think helps me the most with 7-on-7 would probably be competition. Just because, when you go to those big tournaments in Vegas, like, Pylon, you're going against the best of the best. So when you get back home, not everyone's doing 7-on-7. So when you get back home, you've already faced the best of the best. You feel more confident when you're going back in high school,
Right. Yeah, I agree. I think 7-on-7 is such a good tool, and good experience, like you said. You get to play with people that you usually compete against, first of all, which is amazing. And then you get to play against 4 or 5-star athletes. You get to play against them and compete against them and really see kind of where you stack up, which, a lot of people don't get that opportunity. So I think, 7-on-7 is amazing. I've gone to Pylon in Vegas, which is an amazing tournament, and it's great to see all the talent that's there. And now you also are training with Darrell Miller, and he has the 7-on-7 team now, fourth quarter pressure. So talk to me a little bit about what your training is like with him and how that has improved you as well.
Well, my trainer with Darrell, I mean, he's really helped me improve my game a lot. He's definitely, bumped my technique up a bunch from where it was like a year ago. But I'll say the thing he helped me most with is probably the mental aspect of the game. Because, a lot of people think of football as like, a physical sport. But at least for wide receivers and DBs, it's not really about being more athletic than the DB. Because at the end of the day, there's always going to be someone more athletic than you. It's about outsmarting the DB.
Mm-hmm.
The more mental. He's taught me the more mental side because we have like a lot of hard workouts, but we also have a lot of long phone calls and texts about strategy and like if he does this, then you can do that. So then when I get into those situations in the game or on 7-on-7, then I'm ready. I know what to do.
Mm-hmm. Which is so important to have somebody like that in your life, that you can talk to. One of my questions is, do you have mentors? Sounds like he might be one of those, and it's great to have somebody that has played the game as well. So he knows what you're going through. How important do you think that is, to have somebody that's experienced like that?
I think it's really important because, he's been there at almost every single level of football. So, when I have questions for him, I mean, he's pretty much 9 times out of 10 is going to answer them. And that's really important for me to know, I have someone in my corner who's been there. So when it comes time for me to go there, he knows the certain steps I need to take in order to get where I want to be.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about where you want to be. What are your dreams for the future? What's your ideal? If you could do anything, what would it be?
My dream, I mean, right now, number one dream is probably obvious. But I definitely would like to go to the league.
Mm-hmm.
It's been my dream since even when I was fencing, since I was like 6 or 7. I've just always liked football, always liked the NFL. Would definitely love to go.
Okay, that's a good dream. And then aside from football, what would a dream be aside from that?
Like I can't play football.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If I couldn't play football, I'm really like a sports dude. So I would love to be like a sports agent,
Mm-hmm.
signing deals and stuff. Because I feel like that would be pretty cool.
That would be cool. I would like that too. So let's talk about your mentors. Who have been your mentors in your life up to this point?
I would say, I mean, obviously my family's always been there for me, and I mean, everything I am right now is because of them. But I would say, outside of my family, definitely Darrell has probably been one of my biggest, if not my biggest mentor, especially over the past year and a half. Just helped me with everything. I would definitely say Coach Ernest Cutler for South Texas Elite. He gave me my first shot at wide receiver, so I'm always thankful for that. He trusted in me, and I mean, probably my old club coaches, and really any coach that's really coached me in a way, because I've asked every single coach that's coached me questions about the game, and they've came back and answered me, which I'm very grateful for.
Well, and that's great. It's sometimes coaches, I think, take it for granted and don't understand the impact they have.
Right.
And a coach is somebody that is so much more than a coach. And so for those ones, that's great that all of the ones that you've had have really been like that, that have really taken that role seriously and answered your questions and have been there for you. It's so important, especially nowadays, just with everything else going on, that coaches are so much more than a coach. Right. It's there's a lot more to it. Just like you said with, Darrell teaching you the mental aspect.
Yes.
And there's so much more to go along with that. It's teaching you how to be a man, and it's teaching you, just how to be you. And that's so important nowadays for sure. So I want to talk a little bit about who you are as a person. So aside from football, aside from sports, aside from you being a fencer and a wide receiver, you strip all those away. Who is Ricky Gonzales?
I would say I'm a very caring person. I care a lot for the people that I know care for me. Um, I just, I really enjoy helping people, achieve what they want to achieve. Um, just stuff like that. Like I would just say I'm like really, I really just like being around people.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, wherever that takes me, that's where I'm at. I just love helping people out, helping them achieve what they want to achieve.
That's good. Let's talk about one thing I want to talk about is school and how hard it is. Like you said, you're doing online school pretty much. How hard is that to really keep your grades up and to learn? What is that like?
I would say that online school is definitely, it's definitely people kind of overlook it,
Mm-hmm.
because at the end of the day, it's way harder to learn on online school than it is as you go to school. And obviously, we can't go to school because we would catch COVID. But like, yeah, online school is definitely way harder. There's like a limited amount of time where you have with your teachers. Sometimes you just have a video for the day, and I mean, you can't really ask any questions. And when you do try to ask questions, it's like you have to email them, but they're getting hundreds of emails a day, so it takes them days to respond. So I would definitely say like nothing to do with the teachers, just definitely the whole online thing. It just makes it hard to, if you have like extra questions, because me, I take some AP courses, so
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I need some help with them, but it takes me a while to get an answer from the teacher, because sometimes like they don't have like Zoom type, they don't have, you can't meet them after school like you used to do last year. You have to
Mm-hmm.
tell them your questions, and that takes a while, because they have tests and quizzes scheduled. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely say it's harder to learn.
Which is unfortunate. I interviewed last week a group of kids, and one of them was a senior, and he struggling with the same thing. It's so much harder for them, and this is his last year, and that's what he was like. This is my only shot. This is it for me. And so it's unfortunate for those that struggle in school, or like you have questions, that are taking extra hard classes and just need that help that you would normally get. But I think a positive to it is that it's kind of teaching you guys to be proactive.
Yes.
It's teaching you to kind of like, okay, I'm in control of this.
Right.
I need to make sure that I get those questions answered and really be in charge of your own education really at this point.
Yes, ma'am.
So I think that's definitely a positive. It's teaching you some skills that you haven't really necessarily had to use before necessarily. I mean, it was easier.
Because back then you could just rely on like, oh, I can talk to the teacher after school. Now you can't talk to the teacher after school. You gotta wait 2-3 days for an email.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely is true, but it definitely, I would say it definitely has taught me to be more not on top, because I think I felt like I was on top. I would say more, like I gotta get this email out as soon as the Zoom's over, so I get the like best optimal time for responding.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great. And that'll, those skills will definitely help you in the long run. And that's really the same with recruiting, because I know that's, that's really hard right now too. You guys are playing, so that's an advantage. You have tape of you this year,
Yeah.
but it's still harder for colleges to see you. So, that's one thing I always tell the kids: be proactive, send your tape out. I mean, at this point, coaches or colleges need to see who you are,
Right.
and it's a lot harder nowadays for them to do that. So same thing. You are in control of that. And so, it's nice that you are still a sophomore. I don't want to keep bringing that up, but that's a good advantage for you, that you still have 2 more years, but you still don't know what's going to happen, and so
that's like one thing Darrell has really told me. He's been like, you're only a sophomore. So, you got film this year. So, we got to hit these camps so these coaches can know who you are and send that film out,
Mm-hmm. Camps are huge, especially right now. Camps are, I don't know, do they hold a lot of camps in Texas? I'm sure they do. It's Texas, but are there a lot that are close to you, or, like you said, you had to go to the one in California.
Yeah.
Do you have other camps that you have lined up to go to?
Yes. Well, right now, obviously it's football season, so camps. But after, we got some combines, we got some college camps. Usually the colleges host camps that let you, come in. You can show the coaches what you got. But I got some camps right now. I don't think I have any in Texas. Right now we're looking at that coach Ernest Culler I told you about. Thinking of taking me and a couple other kids, Clemson, Oregon, just some. It's more up north. Yeah, just so the coaches can see who I am, and then get in contact with the recruiting coordinator, send them my film, just so that I'm on the radar.
Yeah, that's great. Oregon.
Yes.
I'm in Eugene, so I am in Oregon, in the city of, it's that's one thing that's been unfortunate, is not being able to go to those games and watch them in person, because football season. But that's great, and that's definitely important, again, to have people like that know people that could get you into these colleges. So, and it doesn't matter what age you are, that's the thing. It doesn't matter that you're only a sophomore. There's a 8th grader here in Oregon that, quarterback that got an offer from Oregon. So, it doesn't matter, basically. It's, are you getting feedback? So talk to me a little bit about what's one thing at the end of the day that you want to be known for.
I'll give you 2. One for sports, one for more non-sports. For sports, I would say one thing universally I want to be known for is that I gave it everything I got, that I never left money on the table. Every opportunity that I had, I took it. And, wherever that leads me, I'll be happy, because I know I gave everything I had to the game. But I would say, with not counting sports, probably just someone who cares about, the community, someone you can, if you got a problem, you can come talk to me about it. I'll try to help you through it. Just someone like that, I would say.
That's great. And those are great traits to have, both of them. Because that first one isn't just on the field. You can apply that to school. You can apply that really to every area of your life. And so to be that person and to have that mindset already, that no matter what you do, you gave it your all. That's a pretty good trait to have. So, so that's really good. All right. Last question. Who is your favorite NFL player?
NFL player? Okay. He's old. But,
easy now.
But I've been watching him since I literally can remember. Larry Fitzgerald.
Oh yes.
I literally still watch highlights of him every day.
So why is he your favorite player?
Well, first he was my favorite player because my favorite team is the Cardinals.
Okay.
Basically, I was watching a game with my grandpa, and it was the Saints versus the Cardinals. And I never really had like an NFL team. And he was like, "Who you going for?" And I just literally just randomly picked the Cardinals because I guess I like the bird. That's what my mom says. I was really young. But I've just kind of stuck with them, even though it's been a little painful. Not this season. Yeah. It's been pretty painful these past, 5-6 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I stuck with them. And I mean, Larry was just like, he was the star of the team back then, you know? So I just liked him, and I just liked him ever since. And then when I started playing receiver, I realized, you know, he's a big receiver. I'm a big receiver. I was like, if there's anybody, he's a GOAT. If there's anybody to model my game after, it's got to be him. So
Mm-hmm.
I started watching film of him, realized how, you know, how good his routes are, how good his hands are. And I mean, he just became more of my favorite player. Yeah.
That's great.
Yes.
And that's the key right there, is
Yep.
to model your game. Like,
Yep.
watch film on these people. And Larry Fitzgerald is an amazing player.
Yes.
Still is. And that's a good one to definitely model after. And he seems like a pretty solid dude too, you know, that you don't hear too much negative about Larry Fitzgerald. And that's those are people that I love to root for.
Yes.
You know, that are kind of the real deal.
Yes.
So I think that's great. So you already answered the other question, who your favorite team was. I'm surprised it's not the Cowboys.
Nah, we got some Cowboys fans down here.
I'm sure.
Not even funny. Nah, the Cowboys, you know, I feel like, you know, any Cowboys fans watching this, I don't mean any offense, but I feel like I would have been a Cowboys fan, but like the fans are so like, they're just like, they're just so loud. I just didn't want to be a part of that. So I was like, I got to pick another team.
Well, Cardinals are good.
Yeah.
That's not a bad team. So it's been painful, like you said, but
Yeah.
you know, I've been a 49er fan since like Joe Montana. So I feel you.
Yes.
You know, being from Oregon, we don't have a pro team. So
Yes, true.
I can either do Seahawks or California teams.
I mean, either one is in our division, so.
Yeah. That's true. I like them both. All right. Well, thank you so much. I very much look forward to seeing where the next 2 years take you, especially. I think you're going to be, you know, very highly recruited, because you're a wide receiver. How tall are you?
6 foot.
Yeah. So, and I'm sure you're not done growing yet.
No, man.
So, you know, I think you have a bright future, and I'm excited to watch that. Even though I'm here in Oregon and you're in San Antonio, I will definitely be keeping tabs on your career and just watching where it goes. Really? So thank you. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ricky, for being here. I appreciate it, straight from practice. And I can go and, you know, relax for a little bit. Thank you again so much. Again, this is Jeannie Moore with More Than Sports. Thanks for watching.